Hello viewers, welcome to my channel History Up. Today we will know about the history of United States, part 23. In September 2008, the United States and most of Europe entered the longest and post-World War. I will recessions and often called by the Great and Recession multiplied or overlapping crisis. We involved and specifically the housing market and crisis or the subprimes and mortgage and crisis and soaring of wild price and automotive and industry and crisis rising and unemployment and the most worst and financial crisis since the great desperations the financial crisis and threatened and the stability of the entire economic in September 2008 when and Lehman Brothers and failed, and the other Kent and Bank we are the grave and danger starting in October. The federal government lent $245 billion to financial institutions and toward the trustable assets and relief the program, which was passed by bipartisan and majorities and signed by Bush. Following his election victory with an electoral margin in November 2008, Bush and successor and Barack Obama signed into the American and Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009, which was a $787 billion economics and stimulus aimed at helping the economy and recover from the deepening and recession. Obama, unlike Bush, took a step to the resource the water and industry and prevent future economic meltdown, and those include the wallet of General Motors and Circles and putting the ownership and temporary in the hands of the government and the crash of colonies and program which and temporarily chose new car sales. The seasonal officials ended in June 2009, and the economic slowly and began to expand once again. And beginning in the December 2007, the unemployment rate and steadily rose and from around the 5% to a peak of 10%, and following the failing as the economic and labor market experienced a recovery. The economic expansion that followed the Great and recession was the longest in US history, and strong growth and led to the unemployment rate and reaching a 15-year low in 2019. And despite the strong economic increase in the cost of housing and child care and high education and out of pocket and healthcare expense and surprised increased in wage and fat on man, and someone referred the affordability and crisis. The economic expansion came to the end in early 2020 with sharp and economic constructions and largely caused by began the COVID-19 and pandemic which seriously affected the United States. Recent events from 2009 and 2010, the 111th Congress the passed and major legalizations such as the Patient and Protection and the Affordable and Care Act, informally and now as a Obamacare, the Judge and Frank Wall, the State Reform and the Consumers and Protections Act, and the Don't Act and Don't the Repeal Act, and who is signed into the President Obama. And following the 2010 and midterm election, which resulted the Republican-controlled House and Representative, which and Democrats and controlled the Santana, Congress and President, we over the period and elected and gridlock and headed and divided over the weather and so not divided the selling, extended taxes the courts and poor and citizens making wabber. 215 2 lakh and 15,000 annually and many of the other key uses. This governing debates and the President Obama signing the mortgage and control the Act of 2011 following the Obama 2012 election. Congratulations and great luck and continued as the congressional Republican call for the repeal and of the patent or protection of affordable care act along with various and demand the result in the fast government shoot down science and the Clinton administration and most led to the first and default on the US debate science at the 19th century as a result of growing and the Republican frustration with both and Paris in the Congress and science in the beginning of the dedicated and congressional approval rating and fell to the record vows. And recent events also include the rise a few new political movements and such as the conservative Chip Party and movement and the liberally Occupy movement is the debate over the uses of rights for the level LGBT and community, including same-sex and marriage, would begin and shift and favor the same-sex and couples in 2012. And President Obama became the first president of the openly support on same-sex marriage. And the support from court and provided the federal and reconnection of same-sex and unions and the native white and legalized by the marriage in 2050. The real 2050 with and social and available the exploding and the sexual harassment and the absence the workplace and the multiple employment and the celebrated were the accused and misquoted were rape drawing to the period and the black lives and massive movement also gained a support online actor batted by the police and killing and multiple black and Americans multiple blacks and shooting and including the blues and nightclub and shooting 2016 and Las Vegas and shooting which claimed and the lived from 16 one people led by the increased and cost from the gun control and reform and following the shotman and dialogues. High school and shooting in 2018 gun control and advocate organized the march for our lives and we are millions of student actors of country who all quit and school and protected gun and violence and the women's march was the protest and against and Trump and president in 2017 was one of the largest protests in American history. In 2016, following the constitutional election, and Republican Donald Trump was elected president, and the result of the election, we are the call and into the question as U.S. and intelligence and agents and conclude and that association educated as the Russian and government and interfered the election included and public the U.S. and Democrats spoke along the question about the potential and between the Trump and campaign in Russia and official lead to the investigation by the FBI and Congress and during to the Trump and presidency he was incorporated at America first ideology and placing and restrictions and one and sick and you imposing the widely and banned and immigration from the Muslim and majority nations and many of his exhibited water to the attention who are the change in court and during the presidency we were also engaged the United States and trade the with and China and imposing what the wars and tariffs in China's and product in 2018 and converted the corporate Trump and administration zero tolerance and policy were taught illegal immigrants to the terms and also in confirmation of they are justice to the Supreme Court and emanating and conservative majority and in 2000 which list and followers complained against and Trump will add and forgive the from an Ukraine that reminded the investigated the business and dealings from the Trump and political opponent as a result and Trump imported the those and forward the obstruction of Congress and becoming the third president has been impacted by the was and equated the worldwide and COVID-19 and pandemic and having to the Arab into the United States. First come from January 2020 as early 2020 and suffered more than and conservative suffered more coronavirus and that than we any other nations with that total standing out 6 lakh 8,000 with the US and that of the surpassing the number of US that in the Korean War and Vietnam War combined and as well COVID-19 and pandemic US life expectancy fell of the war and the year 2020 and the unemployment rates and the most rates and signs the desperation the 2020 and number of the gorgeous and flood and caused the protested and the roads areas in many major cities and the policy and variety with the state and calling in the National Guard. 2020 was marked and the rise and the crested and territories and threats and widespread the quest and conservative theory and free grant and political among the biggest was vaccination campaign US the history of kicked off 1 December 2020 ICU and Nathan Sandra Lindsay and became the first person that over the years and received the free visa and return check the COVID-19 vaccine as the of August 2021 60% of US population that received dose of the Pfizer BioNTech and Moderna of Johnson and Johnson COVID-19 vaccine and following the Britain election of the US Trump and withdrew from Afghanistan was moved back and from April August 31 and 2021 in Afghanistan the withdrawal and COVID coincided with the 21 and Taliban options and combating in the fall Kabul and following the massive year lift over the 1 lakh and 22 people were the US military missions and formally ended 1 August 13 and 2001. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like, share and subscribe my channel for upcoming videos. Goodbye.